Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am so excited you're here. Today we're talking about something that literally affects every single one of us every single day, and that is our friends. Have you ever thought about the fact that your friends kind of create this invisible atmosphere around you? It's like a bubble that actually shapes who you are, how you think, and the choices you make. Well, in this explainer, we're going to look at a really fascinating devotional that teaches us exactly how to choose the right squad.
I mean, think about this for a second. Do you act like your friends? Have you ever noticed yourself suddenly copying a friend's funny catchphrase, laughing exactly the way they laugh, or even picking up their habits without even trying? It happens to all of us. It's like their behavior just rubs off on you. Well, today's explainer is going to show you exactly why that happens and why it is so incredibly important to pay close attention to who you're letting into your inner circle. Okay, let's dive into this. The foundation of the devotional we're looking at today comes straight from the Bible, specifically 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. It says, "Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing." Now, in plain English, that just means step away from bad situations and protect yourself. The devotional uses this verse to explain that we actually have to be super careful, like really intentional, about separating ourselves from bad influences. It's not about being mean to anyone, it's just about protecting your own heart.
Section 1, the friendship atmosphere. And this brilliantly illustrates the core idea of the devotional. It basically compares the invisible vibe around people to the actual air we breathe. On one hand, good friends create what it calls a pure and holy atmosphere. This is uplifting. Think of it like taking a huge, deep breath of fresh, clean mountain air. It makes you feel good, strong, and energized. But on the flip side, the devotional uses a really big word for bad influences, a malarious spiritual atmosphere. Now, malaria is a sickness, right? So it's describing air that is toxic or poisonous. Surrounding yourself with bad influences is literally like trying to breathe in heavy, toxic smog. It drags you down, it makes you spiritually sick, and honestly, it makes it really hard to do the right thing.
Section 2, what the devotional says. So the devotional says there are really only two teams in this giant tug of war. Your friends or acquaintances are either under the leadership of Christ or they're under the black banner of the Prince of Darkness. Those are the two sides. And the text warns that if you hang out with people who are on that wrong team, people who don't love God, it'll actually taint your own faith. If you're breathing in their toxic atmosphere, you kind of can't help but be pulled over to their side of the rope.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 3, the danger zone. The devotional uses a very important word here, and that word is sanction. To sanction something means to approve of it, or to kind of give it a thumbs up. But here's the tricky part. You don't have to actually say, hey, I approve of this bad thing, to sanction it. If someone tells a mean joke about another kid, and you just laugh, or even if you just stand there and stay completely silent while it happens, you are sanctioning it. You're giving it permission to happen right there in your atmosphere.
In fact, the devotional spells out 4 specific ways we can accidentally give our stamp of approval to sin. We can sanction it by our deeds, actually doing the bad thing. We can sanction it by our words, agreeing with it. We can sanction it by our silence, just not speaking up when we know something's wrong. And finally, just by our presence. Literally just hanging out where bad things are happening makes you a part of that toxic atmosphere. The text makes it super clear that a follower of Christ shouldn't do any of these things for even a single second. So the crucial point is that being around bad behavior actually changes you from the inside out. The devotional warns that stepping onto what it calls the enemy's ground does 2 major things. It perverts your judgment, meaning it messes up your ability to make good choices, and it weakens your sense of sin. Think of it kind of like a smoke detector in your house. The first time it goes off, it's super loud, it startles you, right? But if you muffle it or you just ignore it every single day, eventually you won't even hear it anymore. That is exactly what happens to your sense of right and wrong when you constantly hang around the wrong atmosphere. You just lose your ability to tell what's a good choice and what's a bad choice.
Section 4, the rescue mission. Now, the devotional gives us some incredibly practical advice on how to handle all of this. It's like a 3-step rule. Step 1, it says it is absolutely right for you to treat everyone kindly. We should always be nice. But step 2, do not love or choose their society. That basically means they shouldn't be the friends you choose to hang out with every single day. Step 3 is the rescue mission. The text says you should only associate with bad influences if your goal is to win them to Jesus and lift them up. Look, if you aren't strong enough to pull them out of the mud, their toxic atmosphere is just going to pull you right in. So be kind to everyone, for sure. but be very, very careful about who you let into your inner circle. Section 5. Building your uplifting squad. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the incredible reward that comes from choosing the right team. The devotional tells us to cling close to friends who have an uplifting tendency. You know, the ones with that fresh, pure, holy atmosphere we talked about earlier. When you do that, God will be nearer to your heart, God will be more in your thoughts, and you'll be less compassed or surrounded by the traps of Satan. By picking friends who breathe good air, your own faith just naturally grows stronger and safer. So I want to leave you with this final, absolutely crucial question. Who is in your atmosphere today? If you look around at your closest friends right now, are you breathing in fresh, clean, uplifting air, or are you slowly getting dragged down into toxic smog? Remember what the devotional teaches us here. You have the power to choose your company. Choose the squad that lifts you up and brings you closer to what's right. Take a really good look at your friend group this week and make sure you're breathing the right air. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep asking great questions, and I'll catch you next time.